In July 2017, a bacterial infection called Mycoplasma bovis was found in dairy cows in Oamaru, South Island. This is home for me, this is why I chose to do this. Mycoplasma bovis, also known as M. bovis, can cause a range of serious conditions in cattle, including mastitis, which doesn't respond to treatment, alongside arthritis and late-term abortions. The effects that show up in cows are symptoms such as coughing, wheezing when they are being shifted, they have weepy eyes, a snotty nose, and lose a lot of weight, which leads to slow death if they are not killed in time. It is shown that it commonly affects animals under 150 kgs, and that they are more prone to catching the disease. The disease of M. bovis is dormant, meaning that it has no side effects to the human consumption of meat or milk and milk products. Therefore, as humans, we can consume these products like normal. This was the first time that the bacterial infection had been found in New Zealand ever. First found in dairy cows in one of the Van Leeuwen's many properties in Oamaru, late July. Ministry for Primary Industries, MPI, placed it as an infected property. This meant that the farm was under legal controls, restricting the movement of risk goods such as stock and equipment from the farm. An MPI office was established in Oamaru to base its field staff, as well as ministry vets who were working with the local vets to assess the stock and manage the situation. In this early stage of M. bovis being in New Zealand, all farmers were encouraged to undertake normal animal standard health practices, although if farmers found animals with mastitis that was not responding to treatment, they were advised to talk to the local vet. 4 days later, and another farm was announced to be tested positive for the M. bovis disease. According to MPI, this was not at all a shock to them, as this farm was another one out of the 16 dairy farms in the Van Leeuwen dairy group. It was said that the major way that this disease is spread is nose-to-nose contact with other stock. It is a comparatively low risk that it is spread from factors such as equipment, clothing and footwear, effluent and vehicles, although cows can be infected by drinking milk from infected cows. MPI tested all farms in the Van Leeuwen dairy group, as well as the 62 neighbouring farms to them, and farms that had previously bought stock from the Van Leeuwens. When testing the cattle for M. bovis, disease symptoms aren't always present. Therefore, 2 sets of sample tests 1 month apart are taken, and depending on the results, a third test could potentially be taken. The Leeuwens were told that their stock can only be moved between their own farm enterprise. The ministry thought that this would have been a measure that was sufficient enough to control the spread of this disease. With the support of farmers, industry bodies and local communities, Ministry of Primary Industry is working hard to locate the disease, contain it and, if possible, eradicate it from New Zealand. Late August through to September, the number of infected farms continued to rise, with all properties being related back to the Van Leeuwens in some way, either having contact with their cattle or having purchased stock from the dairy group previously. In October, it was announced that the known affected cattle were to be culled. Jeff Gwyn's MPI Director of Response stated that to be able to prevent further spread of the disease, around 4,000 cattle on the 5 of the 7 infected properties would need to be culled. We want to minimise the risk of the further spread of this disease, he said. Once depopulation is completed, there will be at least a 60-day stand-down period where no cattle will be permitted on the farms. A program will be put in place during this time to decontaminate the infected properties and then to repopulate the farms after that. In early May, the disease has now been detected in the North Island. The property was in the Manawatu and is a beef cattle farm rather than a dairy farm like previous infected properties. As of late May, the total number of infected properties is now up to 39 farms, with an additional 300 farms under restrictions, not being able to move stock. There are over 22,000 cattle to be culled to help eradicate this disease. As there is no effect on milk products or meat consumption, humans are able to continue. Therefore, there is no huge loss in the demand or exporting of these products. However, the government has created an $85 million budget allowance to deal with the outbreak and to support affected farmers. If the M. bovis disease had not come to New Zealand, this large amount of funding would have been able to be spent in different areas, such as healthcare, and eradicate. If the M. bovis disease had not come to New Zealand, this large amount of funding would have been able to have been spent in different areas, such as healthcare and education, which would have benefited the whole country. As a country, New Zealand is going to have to strategise a way that we can slow down the spreading of this disease. A large fair for the country is up and coming Gypsy Day, traditionally the 1st of June. whether dairy cows are moved to new properties for winter grazing or new share milking contracts. The potential likelihood for cows walking down the road past other farms for cows to sniff at each other over the fence is very high, with there being the major way the disease is spread throughout New Zealand. As a country, should we be deciding that all stock is to be put on transport trucks to try and decrease the chance of Bovis spreading more? Have MPI actually done enough to be stopping this disease from spreading around the country? Is there more that they could have done to slow down the spreading of this disease? Thank you.